There is no such thing as passive income, in my humble opinion. There are a lot of people that want to get into high ticket drop shipping or e commerce in general for the purpose of passive income. Now, before I get into the rest of my spiel here, I will say there are elements of e commerce, there are elements of high ticket drop shipping that are passive. But I think if your sole purpose is to get into e-commerce or high ticket drop shipping, something that values a high level of customer service, people are spending a lot of money on your business. You have actual business relationships with manufacturers. It's going to require more attention than what you were probably looking for. And I would say if your goal is passive income, maybe high ticket dropshipping isn't for you, because I've seen so many people get into this thing where that is their goal. They want just passive income, an extra 5 to 10,000 per month is what they always arbitrarily tell me. And they're not approaching it with the mindset of, this is a real business. These are real people buying from me, and these are real companies that I'm partnering with to serve these people. So now that we have that all out of the way, I want to talk about what is passive about high ticket dropshipping and what is not passive about high ticket dropshipping. I'll be the first to admit, when I first got into e-commerce, when I first developed an interest for e-commerce, I'll be the first to tell you probably wasn't for the right reasons, because I was really sick of my 9 to 5 at the time. And really, my whole goal of getting into e-commerce was to A, quit my 9 to 5, and B, just have all of this free time where I'm sleeping and making money. I'm going to the beach and I'm making money just passively without any effort, without any intervention from me. And what I learned over time was this was just not the reality of things. And what I learned over time, having actually developed relationships with businesses and having to nurture my website and nurture so many aspects of this business, it's like, this business will be as successful as you want it to be depending on the effort that you put in. So let's start with the first step of like, what is not passive about this? What's not passive is customer service. And I'd say that's kind of at the forefront of what is most important to be super attentive to. If you're selling, products that cost 1 to 3 to 5, 10,000, sometimes depending on the industry, 50 to $100,000, like, you better know your stuff, and you better know how to actually serve these customers and make them feel like they can trust you and actually provide real value for them. Um, and I'll tell you, if you want to get in the door with, otherwise pretty exclusive brands that aren't just going to tell any new online business, yes, you can work with us, like, you also have to know what you're talking about. So it kind of goes hand in hand. I would say one is learning your products, and two is providing good customer service. And then that lends itself to actually closing customers by following up with them yourself, or closing them when they call in on the phone to ask you questions. So we'll put customer service aside, actually providing good customer service, whether it's a new customer, returning customer, someone calling about an order status, someone calling with troubleshooting questions. You should do everything in your power to provide good quality customer service, because A, that will lead to a good customer experience. B, it'll prompt them to leave you a good review. And for me personally, like, that is one of the most fulfilling things about this model, is actually providing real value for real people. Now, let's talk about the actual conversion rate. If you want to significantly increase your conversion rate, that is where customer service and closing customers over the phone absolutely comes into play. I just made a video about this and posted it yesterday. Today is January 3rd. Actually, today or yesterday, I've lost track. Something that I did not appreciate was how much more revenue I could drive for my business by closing people over the phone. Now, this isn't cold calling. I've never cold called a single prospect with this business model in my life. The entire business model of high ticket dropshipping is built around the fact that you are advertising to people that are searching on their own for what you are looking for. Anything else is not worth my time, in my opinion. All of your efforts should be totally focused on people that are specifically searching for what you are buying. And so every now and then, some of those people that happen to land on your store that typed in keywords for the products that you're selling, they will call with questions. It could be about anything. It could be about the product itself. It could be about certain requirements for the product. Maybe it requires professional installation. They could be asking about discounts. They could be asking about military discounts. They might be asking about shipping time. They could be asking any question under the sun. And at first, when you first get started, a lot of these questions you're just not going to know the answer to. And this is what really separates, really mediocre high ticket dropshipping businesses from excellent high ticket dropshipping businesses, is how attentive are you to the questions that you're getting. How do you go about answering a question or providing an answer for a question that you don't know the answer to? And more often than not, I would say, like, if there's a question you don't know the answer to, tell them you don't know. You will quickly find out from the manufacturer. You'll find the answer somehow, and you will get back to them as quickly as possible. And 9.5 times out of 10, they will really appreciate that. And I would say that it significantly increases the chances that they buy from you. So all of this is to say, what's not passive is customer service. What's not passive is learning your products, learning your industry, taking note of all of the questions that you're getting, and taking inventory of, are there a lot of repeated questions here that maybe this would help me to update my product page to where I've been getting this question a lot. Maybe it makes sense to answer this question right at the top of my product description. So A, it drives more conversions. B, people won't even have to call in to talk about it. But going back to the point of, if people are calling in and you develop a product knowledge to where you can actually genuinely help them, and you're a good communicator, you are going to close so many more customers over this. It will literally 3x the amount of revenue that you're doing. So when it comes to an actual sales perspective, like passive revenue, passive income, like, get that idea out of your head if you want to do high ticket dropshipping, because the most impactful way that you can impact your business, other than Google Ads, your website, and your niche, all of that is really important. But what's most important is the actual customer with the money in their bank account that are looking to buy what you have. And if you can close 3 in a day instead of 1, just because you got better at talking to them when they call in over the phone, that is going to be a night and day difference for your business. Let's talk about other stuff that's not exactly passive. I would say managing your relationships with your suppliers, although this is not something that really takes a ton of maintenance. It's kind of a case-by-case thing. Like, maybe there's a particular customer where you're facilitating a return or a repair, or maybe like a warranty replacement. That's going to take intervention from you with your supplier for that customer. That's just the reality of it. So there's stuff like that as far as suppliers go. Another piece that's not exactly passive is, I would say, at first, Google Ads maintenance and optimization. This is kind of something that you manage multiple times a week, whether it is filtering out more and more negative keywords, creating new audiences, or segmentation within your Google ad campaigns. Eventually they kind of get to a point where, okay, this seems to be working better than anything else that I've done. And from there, that it becomes more passive over time. And I would say it gets to a point where maybe like once a week, you'll log into Google Ads for 20 minutes and filter out a bunch of negative, irrelevant keywords that you've been showing up for the past 7 days. And then that's about it. 20 minutes in and out, and you're done with Google Ads. And then on top of that, I would say continuously improving the website itself. Your website is not static. It's a constantly living and breathing and evolving thing. And if you're not willing to evolve it and improve it over time, you're not doing your job as a business owner. Because there are lots of thousands, if not millions, of other entrepreneurs out there that would love to take these customers away from you and present a potentially even better website than what you have to show. So whether it's updating your product pages with more optimized descriptions based on the frequently asked questions that you get, from your customers. Maybe it's optimizing your images. Maybe it's working with someone on Fiverr to increase your website speed. There are all sorts of things that you can do. And SEO, that's a really big one. Because SEO is something that only develops and grows over time. It's not something like a one and done thing where you do it right at the beginning and then you never touch it again. All of this is constantly evolving. So all of that said, like I said, there are some aspects of this that are passive, and I will briefly touch on it. The fact that your ads are running without you really doing anything. You don't have to do anything for your ads to run. Once you set up your ad campaigns and you click go, they're going to run regardless of whether you're optimizing them or not. Your website is publicly facing. Once you connect your products to Google Merchant Center, even if you're not running ads on them, they're going to be showing on free Google listings, as just given that they're approved through Google Merchant Center. Sometimes there's funky things with like UPC codes or product images that they don't like. So like a small percentage of your products might be disapproved, but the vast majority of them will be approved and will just be showing up out in the ether of Google. So over the course of time, I've gotten 1 to 3 just random product sales per month. Just from free Google listings, like stuff I'm not advertising, stuff I've like forgotten is even on my store, and people just find it on free Google listings and buy it. And then there's the stuff that you're actually advertising. I would say over the course of all time in high ticket dropshipping for me, I would say 60% of all sales have happened without the customer actually reaching out, calling in, or filling out the contact form on the website with questions. So that in itself is passive. Like somebody clicks on my ad for whatever product I'm advertising, and whether they buy it then or they come back a couple days later and buy it a couple days later, I had no intervention with that. It's just money that they spent on my business that I had nothing to do with, other than the fact that my Google ads are running. So the good news is like a lot of this does become passive over time. Once you've done the work on the front end, you've set up your website properly, you've optimized a lot of things, your ads, your messaging, all of it. A lot of it does become passive, and there is the potential to make a lot of passive money with this. One other element that is passive that nobody really thinks about, and I think I'm actually going to make a separate short video about this, is a business credit card. If you have good credit and you're able to get a quality business credit card with quality rewards, for me, over the course of time, this has led to $30,000 to $50,000 extra per year in just rewards points, whether it's for travel or for cash back. And last year, for instance, it fully funded a trip to Italy, 10-day trip to Italy for me and my wife. First class airfare, really nice hotels, eating, shopping. All of this was funded by rewards that had just built up from using a business credit card. And how you use a business credit card, either you do it on your Google ads, you pay for your Google ads that way, or your supplier has your credit card information on hand and charges it every time they ship a product. And that adds up so quickly to where you just have this ridiculous amount of travel points or cash back points in your credit card account. So that's another really good way to earn just passive income on stuff that you're already doing. So I'll wrap this up. If you're interested in high ticket drop shipping, if you genuinely want to create a business that adds value, I recommend checking out my program. It's a step-by-step process of how to do it. The original program that I built back in late 2022. I'm currently building 2.0 version of it to incorporate things like ChatGPT, AI in general, a lot of SEO focus, just a lot of things that have changed over the last couple of years. So I'm updating it to present day. If you buy it now, you'll get it at the current price. The new course is going to be a lot more expensive. So if you buy the current course, you'll be grandfathered into the new course. Aside from that, my supplier acquisition service link will be in the description, and my Google Ads service will also be in the description. As always, if you have questions, if you have suggestions for what to talk about in other videos, leave a comment, like, comment, subscribe, all the good YouTube stuff. I'm trying to post almost daily for 2025. So lots of good content coming your way, and I'm looking forward to talking with whoever ends up in my program. And as always, I appreciate it, guys. Till next one.